Hello there, it's Hannah here from Good Life Permaculture, coming to you from Moorwood in the country in Hobart, Australia. Today is number 10 of our Crises Gardening series, and it's actually our last of this particular series, but we'll have more content coming to you at some point in the future about other great stuff, so don't worry. But today I'm going to show you all about how to grow your green manures and why, and also just a little casual little tack on the end, how to grow a better world for everyone. Nice little something to think about in these times of COVID-19 and beyond. But let's get cracking over here. What are green manure crops anyway? Basically, it's all about getting a diverse range of plants that will feed the soil and not you. So it's all about re-nourishing the soil, getting it ready for growing more annual crops. There's different types of plants you can plant for warm or cold climates and seasons. Some of them down here I've got listed, but there's more. But over here in the warm season, you can grow things like buckwheat, cowpea, millet, lab, mung beans and soybeans. Buckwheat's one of my personal favourites for summer in Tasmania. And for your cold seasons, you can grow broad beans, lupins, oats, mustard, fenugreek, peas and rye. Today in Tasmania, we're coming into winter, like next week it's winter. I've got a nice little bowl of mixed green manure seeds. I can show you what they are. So come closer. Here, those little black ones there are lupins. They've got a really deep taproot and will fix nitrogen into the soil. And those other big whitish, greenish balls are peas, which are also nitrogen fixing, which is great. Then we've got two grasses. This big one here is the oat grass, and that smaller one is the rye grass. All these things will grow really beautifully together. You can see I've got quite a lot of seed here for a small area, because when we plant green manure, we just broadcast the seed really quite generously, knowing that some will get left on top of the soil, some will get buried in, but we want that thick cropping. We don't want really sparse, because that's when weeds can come up. We want to smother those things out. I'll show you how to do it here. I've just got a small area here to demonstrate how to do it, but you roughly need a few handfuls per square metre, and it's very rough. But you just get your handful and you just broadcast it out like so. That's all you do. Oh, that's stage one. Stage one, do this. But you can see how thick it is on the soil. Stage two is to actually grab a garden rake, like so, and you just kind of like scuff it in. I'm sure there's like a technical term, but I'm just going to call it scuffing. And just check this out. So you don't have to plant every single seed individually, because it's just not economical with your time. So I scuff it in, you can go back and forward, and I'm burying around 80% of the seed. It was that simple. It's so quick and easy. And then the next thing, if it's not about to start raining, you have to water it in. So get your little hose, press go, and water. We've finished the whole process now. All we have to do is wait for it to grow, because the third stage is that you have to manage your green manure. You can't just let it grow, start flowering and start producing the yield, because if you do that, the plant will put all its energy into that flower instead of into the soil. Remember, it's all about feeding the soil and not us. So with that in mind, once or twice, sometimes 3 times in a season, as the plants grow up, before they flower, I slash it down really quite drastically, and they'll grow up again and they'll try to flower again, and I'll slash it down. So you repeat that process, making sure they never flower. That way your soil gets 100% of all the nutrients that are available to it. Once you're ready to plant your next annual crop in whatever season you're coming up towards, for us that will be spring, you can have a few options about how you remove the green manure. One option is that you slash it all the way down with a whippersnipper or a scythe, and then you can plant in amongst it, knowing that some of that green manure will keep growing back, but you can manage it just by cutting it down, if that's okay in a small scale, yeah? On a larger scale, in a market garden or a really big home garden, you can slash it down and you can dig it in, and that will help break it down more quickly with the soil biology. That's another option. The third option, which is our preferred one, is that around 4 to 6 weeks before we want to plant, we will slash it down, get a tarpaulin, a non-toxic tarpaulin or silage tarp, cover that whole ground, and we would have watered it in before then actually. So we cut it, we water it, and then we smother it with that non-toxic silage tarp. And then that little microclimate underneath the tarp encourages all the soil biology up to the top soil level, and it breaks it down. It eats all those roots and any green waste left over. It is incredible. So 4 to 6 weeks later, all you have to do is just casually peel back that silage tarp and it's perfect. There's no digging, and that's what we're on about. No disruption to the soil structure and no disruption to the soil food web, which is invaluable in creating a beautiful, healthy, nutrient-dense garden, which, you know, if you have healthy soil, you have healthy food, and then you have healthy people. That's what we're on about. Cool. So I'll write all this in detail in the accompanying blog just down there as well, so don't freak out if you missed any of that. That's one type of mixed green manure. We've got a few things going on at the moment. Over here, we have a small cold frame which we grow heat-loving crops in. It's like basically like a mini hothouse. We've just been growing some tomatoes and eggplants in there, which have been ripped out. And now we have some tiny plants coming up. These are all mustard seeds, yeah? So we've just got one type of green manure here, just mustard, because mustard is really great at biofumigating your soil. Because with tomatoes, or anything in the nightshade Solanaceae family, which both the eggplants and tomatoes are, there's more risk of soil disease building up. So we make sure we just prevent that at every possible chance. Mustard seed's a great one to pop in between cropping with those Solanaceae plants. Another type of green manure crop is over here. Follow me. Here we've got a baby broad bean crop, and so the broad beans can be planted as a crop, so we will actually harvest some beans from this one, but you could just grow it as a green manure crop. So you just grow them up, you could plant them more densely. Then this is quite sparse planting, so you can see there's quite a few different range of weeds coming up. Oh, and also some gorgeous dill, by the way, bonus. The thing, we love this crop because even when we're just growing it for green manure, we can still eat the leaf, and so these are really great in salads. It's good, excuse me, because as these go on, as winter progresses, the garden gets a little bit more sparse, and so these kinds of leafy greens, which are in abundance by then, are really great, making sure you always have fresh greens every day, all the time. It's really important to us and everyone. I've just showed you how you can nourish your soil, but don't you all think it's time we nourish our society as well? Coming out of COVID-19, let's make this world a new and better world instead of going back to business as usual. Let's outgrow that status quo. Let's get us started. Down here, this is my kind of garden that I'm talking about. There's more to the list, but this is a nice starter to think about. What if we all started thinking about how we can listen to our First Nations communities? What do they want? What do they need? So that we can walk forward together, be a great ally for our First Nations communities, and create the world that's worth living in and truly delivers justice that they so deeply deserve and need. Yeah. Next up, what about we have a bit of food sovereignty? Food sovereignty is the biggest movement in the world, with millions and millions of small farmers working towards reclaiming the food system. Did you know small farmers feed the world? Not big agriculture, small farmers. Let's give them the rights they deserve. Yeah! Leading me on to regenerative agriculture. This form of agriculture is all about building soil. Do I need to say anything else? Soil is life. We can't live without good soil and rain. Look it up. Over here, divest. If you've got superannuation fund or big savings or any kinds of savings in the bank, choose your institution and make sure they're not investing in fossil fuels. You can divest from them and look up who is investing money ethically, because your money is powerful. Over here, renewable energy. This is what will drive our future. We have no time for coal or gas. They're telling furfies. Don't listen to them. Check out the research. Over here, oh, what about a bit of gender equality? Yes, please. At least half the world's female. Wouldn't it be great if we all had equal opportunity to determine our own destinies? Yeah, girls. Okay, embrace donut economics. Funny name, isn't it? But bloody awesome theory. Putting people and planet before profit. Yes, please. And finally, to make all of this happen, plus more, there's more to the list, we're going to need quite a few wheelbarrow loads of compassion, to be kind to ourselves, to be kind to others and loving to others, and a whole lot of courage to stand up, have a crack, have a go. We are more powerful than we think. While I am all about growing food, I am an avid gardener. Ask anybody. I am even more passionate about sowing these social seeds towards a better world for all. Let's get cracking on it.